Rev up your engines. Okay, today, here's an interesting sedan. It is a Genesis. They used to call them Hyundai Genesis, and they decided to make their own brand because they want to be like Toyota and Honda and have fancy brands, Lexus and Acura, so they just followed it along. Hyundai's always kind of followed people around. Just check it out. Here's the Honda badge. There's the Hyundai badge. Look at it. They practically copied it. And in the case of this Genesis, there's the Aston Martin badge, and there's the Genesis right there, about the same. Can someone say copycat? Okay, they've been copying stuff forever, right? The thing about this car is they're very popular in Korea. As a matter of fact, almost every year they sell 10 times as many of these in Korea. Last year in the United States, they sold like 4,500 of these, and guess what? They sold 45,000 of them in South Korea. So it's like their Cadillac of the United States Cadillacs in the 60s, right? They never really hit the mark in the United States, right? They're not bad cars either if you understand what you're getting. Now, he bought it used with only 11,000 miles. Smart move. He saved 10 grand. Now, he's got 45,000 miles and he's done nothing except change the oil and filter on the thing. They're not bad cars. They're very zippy. They got a big V6 engine. Now, they're not going to last like a Lexus or an Acura that they're competing against that might go 200, 300, 400,000 miles. This guy said he'll be happy if he gets 100,000 miles out of it. So if you're happy with that, hey, this could be a luxury car you could get, especially used, for a lower price and have a lot of fun with it. Realize that being a luxury sedan, this baby is rear-wheel drive. And even though they call them Genesis, Hyundai makes them. They used to be Hyundai Genesis, now it's their own brand. So everybody thinks, okay, Scotty, you said they make the world's worst transmissions, the Hyundais and the Kias. But the ones that they make that are horrible are front-wheel drive. This is rear-wheel drive. These transmissions are relatively bulletproof. I have actually never seen one break in any normal usage. The only ones I ever saw break ones that were in massive wrecks and the whole car got crushed. Can't blame that on the transmission. If you're in the market for a luxury sedan and you don't mind buying used and you want one that's nice and you can save some money and it's lower mileage, it can still last some time. If this had been a Lexus, he would have paid at least 20 grand more used than what he paid for this. At least 20 grand. And if you're not the person who's going to keep a car 200,000-300,000 miles, you probably don't give a hoot. Why would you? You get 100,000 miles out of it, you're happy driving it, get another used car. Some people get bored with cars. Me, I'm a cheapskate. Hey, this is pushing 20 years old. It's just getting broken in as far as I'm concerned. I don't get rid of cars because I'm bored with them. I only get rid of them if there's hardly anything left with them. Or if I find a really good deal on one of my customers getting rid of a car, then of course, I'll snap it up like I did that Lexus for my wife, 3 grand for 65,000 mile Lexus. I see another deal like that. Hey, I'll jump on it, right? But I'm not going to be spending 60, 70 grand for one either. Now, to give you the situation this owner's in, before this, he had a Hyundai Sonata. He got rid of it at 90,000 miles. He had no problems with it whatsoever. The reason he bought that was because it was between that and a Chevy Malibu. And he said, Chevy still don't know how to make 4-cylinder engines or transmissions. So he bought the Sonata and he didn't have any problems at all. And he got rid of it at 90,000 miles. In that case, a lot of times you can get away with buying a Hyundai. And even though it says Genesis, it's just a fancy Hyundai. So, of course, we're going to analyze this whole thing, but to give you an overview, got a strong V6 engine, right? Overhead cams, and nice working room, too. There's a lot of room. This was a pretty well-designed vehicle. And as I said, he's had no problems with anything. He just changes the oil and filter. That's all he's had to do on his car. It's only rear-wheel drive, but he lives in Rhode Island. He didn't put snow tires on it. They have snow plows, and really, most of Rhode Island doesn't snow all that much in the winter anyway. Now, as you take a general overview, you can see pretty luxurious car. You'll see how it rides when you take it for a ride, but there's room, it's set up, AC, heat in the back. Bucket of coins, I don't know what they're doing in there. Well, he owns a place that has to pay a washing machine, so he ends up with all these coins. And he just explained something to me. He uses Coinstar. And I said, well, who wants to get ripped off? They charge all that? He said, if you turn the coins into an Amazon gift card, you get 100%. So that's the gifts that he gives people for holidays. And he gets 100% of his money. I didn't realize that. So if I ever do that, with change I got lying around, I'll just get Amazon gift cards. What the heck? Okay, so let's look inside. Sounds solid. Got a nice setup. We'll start her up. Starts right up, has a self-adjusting steering wheel, very nicely appointed. All the adjustments you can fiddle with. It's got automatic, or you can manually shift it if you want, up and down. It's got paddle shifters on each side. Most people drive this as a luxury car. They're not racing it around, so it's really well appointed. All the leather and everything's in good shape. Sunroof looks good. So let's get my fancy computer out. Okay, here we go. We got the hotel out. Pretty soon it should read it. Detected it. We'll do standalone diagnosis. It already read the VIN. So we gotta do Genesis because it confused itself with Hyundai. There's Genesis hiding in the back. No, it's Genesis USA 2018. 3.8 GDI engine. A full topology scan, so here we go. Look how fast it's filling it up. Look at that. Whee! It's almost done, 89%. And lo and behold, it's 100% done and there's nothing wrong. Everything's green. Now, granted, it's only got 43,000 miles on it, but you can see it's got no trouble codes at all. Actually, decent cars till they get to be older and a lot of mileage on it. If you saw a video I made years ago, I compared a Genesis that had like 120 to a Lexus that had like 180, and the Genesis that had 15 to 20% wear on the cams of the engine, and the Lexus had like less than 1% wear. It'll just show you the Lexuses are better made. But if you're going to drive it 100,000 miles or less, you might be real happy buying one of these used. Let's get some live data going here. Oh, here we go, live data. And we'll start analyzing it. Remember, black is good, other colors are bad. We'll see what happens. Here we go, battery voltage is good. Water temperature voltage, there's an interesting one. I didn't know the water had voltage. It's just giving you the voltage of the sensor. It should have said sensor, because the water doesn't have voltage in it. At least it's not supposed to. If it does, it means you got an electrical problem. Information on the immobilizer system. Check it out. It even shows you the status of the health of the battery. Okay, it's 83%, so it's still good. You know, I mean, you're not going to see something like this. It's a normal car. It's not a hybrid or electric car or anything, but it gives you some pretty good information. Control adaptation 0 because the engine doesn't knock. I'm sure it runs good. We'll find that out. And of course, total misfiring, all the 6 cylinders 0 all across the board. Okay, air fuel ratio imbalance 0. That means it's running perfectly. It's not adding fuel or subtracting fuel. Usually it's off maybe 1%, 2 or something. It's 0. So it's running perfectly. So here we go. Got a decent backup camera. Not great. I'd expect something a little bit snazzier than this. The contrast isn't all that great, but you can see where you're going. And you notice, it is smooth as silk. There's no shaking in this thing whatsoever. It's not a particularly tall vehicle, so we'll go a little bit slower over this bump, but it shouldn't have any problems. It's not having any problems. And here we go on the horrible bumpy roads of Rhode Island. Let's see how they ride. Being a luxury sedan, I expect pretty good, and really, it absorbs those bumps. I don't feel it much. It's only got 45,000 miles, but it shows you. Pretty well designed. It rides over the bumps smoothly. Let's give it some gas. Whee! Hey, before the traction control hit in, this thing's got some balls to it. Now you can see why people like buying these things. When you want to pass somebody, you step on the gas and away you go. And that transmission is smooth as silk. I gotta say, it is a nice luxury car in the short run. And he doesn't care because he's gonna get rid of it when it gets 100,000 miles. And here we go down the hill of the ocean. Handles great. Now, if you did hear some noise, that was a bucket of quarters falling over in the back seat. That wasn't the car. Plenty of power going uphill. Nice ride. No, it's not a gas hog. It's not a gas mileage. On a highway, he gets about 26. Combined, he gets about 23. But it's a powerful sedan. My wife's Lexus gets about the same kind of gas mileage. You put a big V6 engine in a car with rear-wheel drive, yeah, that's about what you expect to get. Not horrible, not great, but nice ride, lots of power. I wouldn't complain. Now, he just gave me a good warning. Turn off the folding mirrors in the winter, because his froze on, and it was a bear getting them back out. So in the winter, turn off your auto folders. But the car itself, hey, if you're looking for a luxury sedan, you can find a good used one and save 10 grand or more like he did. 11,000 miles on the thing. Done nothing the last 30 except change oil and filter. It still runs like a top. The air fuel was 0, was perfect. I gotta say, it's an impressive sedan. Like I say, it's a Korean big popular car. They sell 10 times as many in Korea as they do here. They only sold 4,000 something here in the United States last year, 2022. So they're not big sellers in the United States, but they're a quality vehicle, I gotta say. But on the other hand, if you're a cheapskate like me, you're not gonna get a car that lasts 2, 3, 400,000 miles. they don't hold up as well as a Lexus or as an Acura, which is basically who their competitors are. Now, I do have to say, when they used to make American luxury cars, I would have bought this before I bought an American luxury car, but Americans really don't make cars anymore. They only make SUVs and trucks. So, hey, it's a small market. These things, they're not bad cars at all, really. If you're thinking about buying a used one, you get a deal like he did, why not? So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.